All right, good morning, everyone. We'll get started with this morning's Commissioners Court meeting. Today is Monday, August the 25th. It's our regular scheduled meeting for the second meeting of the month. If you'll please stand for a prayer, followed by a pledge. Commissioner Wolf.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day you've given us and for the lives that we enjoy and the place that we live. We ask for blessings upon our nation and our state and our county. Lord, we pray that we will look unto you for our strength and our wisdom each and every day. That you will guide us today as leaders of this county, that we'll make decisions that are in the best interest of those we serve. We ask that you would send rain to heal our land, to restore all the springs and creeks and wells. And we thank you for the rains that you have sent. Thank you for the grass that has grown. And so, Lord, we just ask for wisdom this day. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. It is 9:04. We have a full court this morning. Everyone's present. Thank you all. We'll start with our departmental reports and comments. County Aging Center. County Attorney, Auditor, Clerk.
Morning, Judge. Morning.
Morning.
Just to let you know that we do have an election coming up in October. We'll start October 20th for constitutional amendments, and it will run the entire first week. That weekend also of the 25th and 26th through the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. And election day will be November 3rd. We have talked with the state legal department, and we will be able to do the elections, early voting at the Civic Center, and election day will be at the Civic Center also. We'll not have to have all 4 precincts. And we are working on that for possibly further elections, as we are counting under $5,000 registered voters. So we're in the process of trying to get that taken care of.
Good. Any questions for Michelle Brook? Thank you, Rick. Community Center, nothing. Constable, Earwood.
Schedule myself for some training September 22nd to 26th. It's going to be a basic instructor course that hopefully I can help out Sheriff's Department if you guys pay your local bring them all over. So other than that, nothing to do going on.
All right, thank you, Constable. Warden from Geo. No, don't see him. And no email. I didn't get an email from him this morning. EMC.
I'm on it.
All right, so September 10th and the 11th. The TM's going to be in the fritter room at the library, getting these ID cards for like our emergency services, those that can access our EOC at the time only. If you can't go attend, because I'm going to be setting it by appointment, then we have options to go to Del Rio, Uvalde at a later time. There will be a future one down the road. We just don't have a date because things change. This is going to get pushed because of what happened in Kerrville. There was too much folks that were that shouldn't have been inside the EOCs walking in, and they were having to kick them out. Another thing I need to get with you, Mr. Montalvo, on our surplus for cones with the state. We can get together Wednesday if you're available. And I'm trying to acquire some cones for the Civic Center. I have a certain number I'm trying to implement. So if we have emergency plans executed, we have the cone surplus there at the Civic. you and I are going to Carrizo Thursday. We're going to be watching a scenario how they operate their emergency services and see and bring that feedback to our county. Of course, training's coming up randomly for me, so it's a lot. Any questions for me? Anything that I need to address? Flood? I heard that you guys had a lot of water down south. Interruptions. All good?
Not us.
All right.
Oh, yes.
What you get?
Well, no, I'm gonna ring gauge there.
That quarter of an inch all I had.
Yeah, it was pretty much almost across the board.
Inch to 2 inches, I think, or something. But a quarter of an inch all I had.
Yeah.
That's what we had. That's what we had in the house, but further south, it's still
Good shot.
I'm still working on our GIS maps. So I have them layered out to where, like, I had some deputies asking about if they know where the areas are at for floods. I'm gonna make them a copy so they can have it on them, so they know where. TxDOT usually sets up the signs. It's just information for them. Some of them had asked me, so. Come on. All right, I'm out.
Thanks, sir. All right, EMS.
Don't have a whole lot to report out. Do have some good news. We were able to order a LifePack 35 monitor through an OLS grant that Carla was able to get us, and also 3 vein finders. So I placed the order on all that stuff last Tuesday. We actually received the vein finders already. And the new monitor is about 7-week lead time. So end of September, early October, we should have that one in hand. So that's good news. So that's one that we were able to get through a grant that we aren't going to have the county pay, which is always good news. And then on that front as well, Kinney and Alma are working on a grant to get another monitor. We should hopefully know something next month. So hopefully we'll be able to get both of those through the grant. So that would be good news all the way. Any questions for me?
No. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Grant updates.
Grant update, all of the FSRs, the financial status reports have been turned in. The one that was turned in at the end of the month for the local border security, which it has $40,025 towards the vehicle that's been ordered. That payment was received last week. The amount that was submitted on Friday for the OLS financial status report was $164,000. There'll be a lot more that will be submitted in the next 2 months. A reminder that grant ends this Saturday. The new one begins on 1 September. I'm working on the agreement for the OLS personnel. There's progress reports that are due on OLS and the Operation Stone Garden that I will get with the attorney and the sheriff on. And then there is the equipment that was approved last week. All of that equipment has been ordered. So that should be within the next 4 to 5 weeks and be installed. The lightning dome should be installed within 4 to 5 weeks. The cables, everything else has been ordered.
Okay.
Any additional questions?
Any questions, Ms. Westbrook? No, ma'am, we're good.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Westbrook. Indigent healthcare? Nothing. Okay. County judge, for me this week, I'll be out Thursday, like Mr. Moore was saying, we got a tabletop exercise of an emergency disaster deal, tabletop exercise. And Dimmitt County is hosting it. It's put on by the Tiedemann and stuff, but they're hosting it. So we're going to run down there to that Thursday morning. That's about it for me for this week. So I should be around every day. But other than that, nothing really. Just the peace. The report was last week or last time we met. County Library turned in their monthly reports. Well, Road and Bridge also. Sheriff Coe. Okay. Morning.
Okay. The OLS warrants are taking up a lot of our time. Right now, we've got 13 scheduled for pickup throughout the state. And one in South Dakota, 2 more in Oklahoma, and we just brought one in from South Carolina. 13 we got scheduled for pickup, plus it's coming out of OLS, it's gonna run us up close to $11,000. Right now, we got 29 in jail over in Medina County. Got a couple more probably coming in today. They run us about $2,000 a day. We spent almost $2,000 in fuel money running them from here to Medina and coming back. We got that transport van that we use and it's getting 12 miles per gallon on a good day. We've got 15 confirmed warrants since October 8th. I'm sorry, certain confirmed over 35 and confirmed 7 over the weekend. So they're getting stopped and getting confirmed, they're getting picked up. Right now, the staffing and everything we have for deputies for transport, we've got 2 local warrants up in Dallas. You're not gonna have the personnel to go pick them up, so I'm gonna have to send the transport company to go pick them up and bring them back on our. Probably about $1100. Got an active shooter paper route exercise scheduled for October. I think I've got it scheduled for October 9th. We'll have PTSIs for all the law enforcement agencies. I'd like one of y'all to sit in on this. First match will be there, so we know that's what we have, what it's resources out. And then there we can increase the next go around and have a live action. Any questions? All right.
All right. Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank y'all.
Tax assessor. County treasurer, Mr. Gutierrez has provided a monthly financial status for the investments in compliance with the Public Funds Investment Act. That was handed out for you this morning. Balances on the different funds and so forth. All right, county attorney.
Yes, Commissioners, don't have much right now, but I'd like to introduce the guardian and helping with the courthouse, all the operations and the landowners compensation program. And I'll just let them speak for a little bit and take up some of my time. But other than that, I don't have anything else for y'all.
All right, they're going to address it regarding just the progress of landowners compensation.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Well, as y'all know, the landowner compensation program has been a difficult thing to navigate and get through. We've worked closely with the Attorney General's office and of course with Mr. Smith here to work out the kinks. And we can confidently say that we've been successful in streamlining the process and developing a packet that with assistance or without assistance, landowners can they can basically get it done without too much stress, without having to waste too much time. So the landowner can actually have a list of items that they need to get without having to wait on the phone or talk with people for hours, take too much time out of their day, lose out on what they need to do, and get it done. We have developed a business card with a QR code that'll take you to a link that will open up a pamphlet that looks similar to this information sheet. And it basically tells them who they can call, where they can contact, and they'll put them in contact with either one of us so that we can help guide them through it. We'll be able to send the individual who's interested a link through email. They'll either give them a step-by-step process where they can get everything done on their own, or they can ask for our assistance, and of course, it's free of charge.
Okay. And this is the compensation program that's like landowners have received damage through the bailout, cases and so forth and whatnot, and the trespassers and so forth. And it's items that are typically not insurable. Land like windmills, your water troughs, your solar pumps, things like that. Tractors, automobiles, barns, facilities and stuff, typically those are insurable and you have insurance. But this is for the fence damages and the time and effort to pick up things, and fix the fences and stuff like that. So, it was rather,
That's,
And then,
cumbersome, and it was a little intimidating and frustrating for some of the landowners to try to get in. So Brent started working with the guardsmen to come up with a process that helped if the landowners seek some reimbursements, then it's streamline it to where it would, because a lot of it was very repetition, but like, say you had 10 pages, well, 6 pages were the same thing for every one of them. They wanted those 6 pages every time. And hopefully we work through that process a little bit to say, hey, it's already in the system. Here's that landowner's information, but here's a new incident in each instance. And this goes back to September of 21,
23,
21, right?
I believe it's 23.
23.
23, okay, 23. So they can still make a claim and so forth. And some of it is the difficulty of some of it is they may have bailed out and went through the fence and nobody was even chasing them. They had a pilot car or something, they saw a deputy or somebody and they called and the car that was hauling the smuggling, they just fell off into the brush because they got nervous. Well, we didn't know about it. The sheriff's office didn't know about it. DPS didn't know about it. Border Patrol didn't know about it. And then 2 or 3 days later, the landowner finds damage and stuff. Well, they used to call in and make a report and so forth. And even with the windmills, the water troughs or the things like that, the internal damages, there may not be an actual policeman or sheriff's deputy show up. He can make some documentation of that, put it in the file and get a report from the ranch liaison for the county and so forth to accommodate the filing of the report with the state of Texas to help maybe get some compensation back for the damages they've received. So that's,
So we're gonna try to get this on social media and in our offices, and we can hand that out to the landowners, because I think the other hurdle is getting the word out to the landowners. But there's the program, and then they operate much like an insurance agent. You have your insurance company, but in between you and your filing the claim, you have an agent. They kind of fill that gap, so to speak. And so I think the more landowners that know about it, the better, because it is a pretty daunting task on going through the process, but they've ironed it out pretty well. So I just want to introduce them here to y'all, and anyone that's listening or that wants to come by, we can have these brochures and the judges with the county attorney's office, and we can definitely hand them out. But other than that, Judge, I don't have anything else.
all right, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, that'll take care of the departmental reports. Anybody signed up to address the court this morning, Becky? Okay. All right, we'll start in with items on number 4 this morning. Deliberate, consider action on the following items. Item A, we're going to delay a little bit that the spokesperson is headed this way to speak on behalf of Wintergarden Women's Shelter running late. Item B is discuss and possible action appointed mandated. That's also connected with item A. Item C is discuss and update only the 2025-2026 budget proposal. Right now, the new one that's on your table this morning, the auditor sent this to us Friday. Okay, this came Friday. And this is the new proposed budget. We'll have to go back through here and do some looking and whatnot. Probably need to just schedule another meeting to actually go through this and talk and discuss it. Because her proposed budget now has taken our 1.2 million from savings to balance to she has come back with $1.9 million is what she's come back with, and said that's what it would take to balance the budget. So I have not looked at it to be able to tell you what all will hit us there. In our earlier workshops and stuff, we discussed it. About 1.250 million was going to be our threshold for what we wanted to take from savings to make the budget balance. And in that 1.25 million, there was the $425,000 for the ambulance, in addition to $600,000 for construction and stuff to help keep working on the Peterson building and so forth. So that was kind of the balance difference there, but she's gone through and made some changes somewhere, and like I say, I haven't gone through it myself, so. And I met with her last Monday after we had a commissioners court meeting last week, the special meeting we had to deal with MOUs and stuff. She was here. I met with Ms. Flores and I and Ms. Gutierrez met with her Monday afternoon to go through what she had prepared and given to us that we talked about that morning, and went through and went back through some numbers and stuff and updated those numbers and try to understand where she got her numbers from and stuff, and visit with Cheryl. You on the call this morning? So part of the frustration is we're not, I mean, she's doing this on her side and then brings it to me and says, here's what it is. Well, how are we getting there? I'm not real sure, but we kind of need to figure this out. The deadlines are getting closer and closer for us to adopt a budget. So I suggest that we probably call a special meeting Friday afternoon and discuss and go back through this to where the proposed budget for the so I have some ideas we're going forward, because today we're going to talk about adopting the tax rate, adopting setting a public hearing, right? Proposed budget and stuff. So guys, I have not gone through this. I'll just tell you, I haven't gone back through it compared to what we talked about on Monday to know where we are, where she's coming up with $700,000 more that we need to take from the fund balance. So if it's all right with y'all, I'll just say progress and get through today's meeting and whatnot, take this home and start looking at it, talking about it, marking it. I'm open. I have an appointment Friday morning. I got to make, but I say Friday, maybe at 1 o'clock. We said just a workshop meeting to go back through and talk about this, try to narrow it down, because if that's the case, then we're going to have to make some budget cuts somewhere and decide on where we're going to take money, cut budgets and stuff. So that's kind of all I got for you on that. So is everybody all right with if we just call a special meeting, workshop meeting on Friday, 1 o'clock? And that's what's on there. Here's a proposed budget that she's worked on using the numbers that we gave her, and then the numbers that she's come up with and stuff, some clarification and stuff. So that's my take on that. Anybody got any comments or concerns? But that's where I say we just talk about it Friday in a workshop and go from there. All right. So the action item, item C for this morning. On my agenda. There's just discussion and update, but on item C, we'll call a special meeting for Friday at 1 o'clock. What date is that, Victor? 29th?
Yes, sir.
And it'll be a budget workshop.
There may be some other items in the action.
Okay.
So we just have discussion.
Okay, we'll call it a special meeting, but that'll be a discussion item there.
Yes.
All right. So as Florence is saying, we'll call it a special meeting. Any other items that come up, but that'll be that item. That'll be a budget workshop discussion, and we'll try to wrap it, figure out some numbers and stuff and everything. All right, Sheriff, don't run off. This young lady's here. Okay. Don't run off. I think, are you from Wintergarden? You're the Wintergarden lady's here. I'd like for you to hear that. All right, so that'll be item C. We'll jump back to item A right quick. presentation by Wintergarden Women's Shelter regarding House Bill 476 sexual assault response teams. And also item B, discuss and possible action appointment of mandated agencies per HB 476 to Kinney County Sexual Assault Response Team. Come on up and speak into a microphone here and we welcome you this morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Erica Bustamante, and I am the Executive Director of Wintergarden Women's Shelter. We're located in Carrizo Springs, Texas. However, we cover 8 counties, maybe it's 8 counties, and we've just expanded. So we have a emergency shelter in Carrizo Springs, and then we also have one in Brackett in Del Rio. We're currently operating that shelter as well. We provide services in Divot, LaSalle, Sabala, Maverick, Uvalde, Valverde, Frio County, and now Kinney County. I did come and speak to the judge about a couple of weeks ago to inform him of the services that our agency has to offer. We're a dual service agency providing services to victims and survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. Again, you have 2 emergency shelters. We provide 24-hour crisis hotline. Someone's always going to answer that number. We have an LPC on staff that provides counseling services. We do information and referral. We do peer support, crisis intervention. We also do hospital accompaniment, law enforcement accompaniment, court accompaniment for any victims that may need that service. We provide hospital accompaniment for victims that are undergoing a sexual assault forensic exam. And we partner with the Texas Center of Forensic Excellence that has the forensic nurses that go out to the hospitals throughout this area. Currently, there is no nurse that comes to Valverde, but they do have a virtual system where there is a sexual assault nurse examiner on the other end, and the hospital staff is trained to follow the direction and collect the evidence and conduct the exam at the regional. So that would be the closest one here to Kinney County. And then the next one would be Pearsall, which is Frio County. They do have a sexual assault nurse examiner that does come out there from San Antonio. They have signed an agreement with the regional so that as soon as they're able to hire more nurses from the area, that they will have a nurse coming to Del Rio to conduct that service, those exams, because there's such a shortage for sexual assault nurse examiners right now. So I think to explain the services that we have to offer, because we are now going to be coming into Kinney County. We've been very fortunate to receive additional funding for sexual assault services in this last year, and we've been awarded, a little bit more for these next 2 years. And so we're able to cover the counties in this region that are unmet, the services are not available. And as I understand, there has been no sexual assault services here being provided. I do understand that the CFS provides some domestic violence services. And so we'll be providing both. But any victim, they have a choice, they have an option, they can choose to receive services from us, or they can receive services from the CFS. So I believe my staff has already come out here to introduce themselves and drop off some literature and brochures, and so they'll be coming around. So that's just, in a nutshell, the services that my agency provides. And then I also came and met with the judge, and we also met with the sheriff about House Bill 476, which is a bill that was passed in 2021. And that bill mandates that every county in the state of Texas have a sexual assault response team. And it also lists the agencies that are mandated to participate. And so those agencies are a sexual assault service provider, which would be us, the sheriff's office, if there's a PD in the county, or all PDs in the county as well. The district attorney's office, a member from the behavioral clinic or agency, like an MHMR agency. And then also either a sexual assault nurse examiner that conducts sexual assault exams in the county, or if there is not one, then it would be the largest medical provider for the county. So those are the mandated agencies to participate in the, or to be appointed to this team. And it doesn't restrict from other agencies also participating if there is a need. Pardon me, my mother's very driving, like this is a little hoarse. But the intent of this team is to ensure that victims of sexual assault receive all the services available and there is no gap in access to health care when undergoing a victimization or an assault. And so in this, excuse me. The goal also is to case staff cases, sexual assault cases amongst all the agencies that are mandated to participate. Again, so that we can work together and avoid, any gaps in services or access to healthcare. So that is the intention of House Bill 476, and it is for adults only because children are served through another organization, another group, through the child advocacy centers. So this is for adults only. Thank you so much. Do y'all have any questions in reference to our services?
This team is the DA's office, is the steering mechanism of it.
Actually, Commissioners Court will appoint the members that are mandated to participate. And once we have the first meeting, then amongst all the members on the team, we'll decide who the administrator is or the chairperson that will coordinate all the meetings. I do have a SART coordinator on staff that currently coordinates the SARTs in Frio in the South. We have the three SARTs, and then we have one in Maverick that is standalone, and then we have one for Dimmitt and Zavala that is combined because the members are almost the same members. So we've been able to combine those two SARTs, and we are the chairs for those three SARTs that we chair in the other service area. And then we also have a meeting on September 3rd with the DA in Uvalde to talk about that and how we can help them because we are providing sexual assault services in Uvalde. So Uvalde does have a sexual assault nurse examiner. So that would be the one closest to you, not Pearsall. However, she's PRN as needed because she is an instructor at the college. So there may not always be a thing in Uvalde. So in the next one after Uvalde. But yes, so we are very involved. We already have the protocols and policies and procedures in place for those SARTs that are required. We also have the bylaws that all our SARTs have already passed. And we're already at the point of staffing cases with those SARTs. And then there is also a binomial report that is due from every SART to Commissioners Court by December 1st, every 2 years, and it's on every odd number year, which would be this year would be a reporting year. And so let me just backtrack a little bit. We were at a conference this year, Texas Association Against Sexual Assault, and they facilitated all of the SART legislation, the SART guide for the state, for all of the SARTs in Texas. So they've been very instrumental in providing us guidance on how to proceed with these teams. And so we went to their annual conference and they did have a report from the last biennium. And it showed that Kinney County did not have a SART, that there was no known information for Kinney County. So that's why we decided to go ahead and schedule a meeting with the judge and offer our services and our assistance to get this team going so that the county would be in compliance. It is an unfunded mandate, unfortunately, but fortunately we have the staff to be able to coordinate or to facilitate and assist and participate as well in SARTs throughout the region.
Okay.
So the services would be offered over in Del Rio. Kinney or-
For sexual assault exams, yes. But my staff provides mobile advocacy services, so if they don't need an exam, but they are a survivor, they're experiencing, long-term trauma, they need counseling services or they need assistance, to be referred for, resources. My staff, I have a mobile advocacy team and they can come out here. because we don't have an office here, and so my team can come out here and meet the victims, or they can, go to one of our offices, which, Valverde would be the closest one in Del Rio. But we do have, that capability to come here.
So the local team would serve pre-screening or?
No, the team would actually be to staff the sexual assault cases. For example, if there's like a case that we have or a case that law enforcement has, and they're in need of more resources than what they can provide, or that we can provide, we bring it to the team. And then we all work together to make sure that that all the services that the victim needs, are provided.
Is adult protective services, are they involved in this at all?
No.
No. Okay.
And we also provide assistance with the crime victims compensation, I'm sorry, to the office of the governor for any victims of crime. We facilitate that process as well.
All right, so your team will help us get this established. What for? Our largest health provider for us would be United Medical Center
Mhm.
out of Del Rio and El Paso stuff. They have our clinic here.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm sure y'all are working with them in other communities, probably most likely.
Not with UMC. I'm familiar with UMC, but we don't work with them because, for example, in Maverick, it would be Fort Duncan and Valverde Regional.
So, all right, so that's the education portion for us. And then our action item here says to appoint an agency for HB 476, the Kinney County Sexual Assault Response Team. That's what you're asking. You're
Yes.
offering your services to serve as our agency for our
To facilitate the process to get the START team together and up and running. And of course, we would participate because we are the sexual assault service provider in Kinney County. I'd also like to note that our agency is the only certified sexual assault services provider in the entire region. And so our agency, our staff are certified to go into an exam room should the victim, ask us to be there to accompany them during the exam. If there is another sexual assault service provider, they can go to the hospital, but they cannot be in the room because they are not a certified sexual assault service provider. And so that's the thing that separates our service from any other sexual assault provider.
So the shelter for Kinney County would be in Del Rio.
Yes, Del Rio, if there is a victim of domestic violence or sexual assault and they are in need of emergency shelter, they can go to the shelter in Valverde, or they can go to the one in Cristo, it's further, but they can also go there. So both of them are available for any victims that need emergency shelter. So we provide services for residential clients, which are the ones that are in need of emergency shelter, and then we also offer non-residential services, which are services to victims that do not need emergency shelter, but do need services.
All right. Sheriff, you on board with this? You on board with this?
Yeah, I've got her number. I've got the other numbers over Del Rio with her agency and BCF. And BCF, all that.
Okay,
It's a needed service.
Yes.
unfortunately. Okay. All right, any other questions on, Bustamante this morning? All right, item B then is action to appoint mandated agent for HB 476 to Kinney County Assault Response Team, that agency being Wintergarden Women's Shelter. I'll entertain a motion. So moved by Commissioner Ferret, second by Commissioner Tavo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. All right, Mr. Bustamante, we'll look forward to hearing with you and working with you. We need to just reach out to the sheriff and myself, and we'll work on getting this team put together and so forth. And hopefully we don't need you. Not to hurt your feelings, but hopefully we don't need you, but unfortunately it's a sad situation. it's in our communities. With that being said, you'll get to work on this, add this to our, plate of items to take care of.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
thank you for being here. You're free to go if you want to.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners, and my staff will reach out to all of those agencies and we'll coordinate the first meeting and we'll keep you informed.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sheriff,
Just to put you on board, I do have one deputy that has been sent to training on sexual assault. And I have two deputies going to training this week on investigating child abuse cases. So we're kind of in the ballpark. Get you.
thank you, sir. All right, item D, this morning is discuss and approve 2025-2026 proposed tax rate of 0.4509 per $100 value for general fund and 0.0163 per $100 value for road and bridge fund, and set official salaries for public hearing and tax rate public hearing dates for September the 8th, 2025 at 9 o'clock in the morning. So moved by Commissioner Ward. Second by Commissioner Montalvo. Any further discussion on item D? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That this is the proposed.
Proposed, yes, proposed. All right. Item E is discuss and approve imposition of optional fees for county, what is that, county year? CY? Calendar year. Oh, yeah, that makes sense now. 2026, current fees, road and bridge, $10, child safety, $1.50. As you know, these are the fees that you pay when you register your vehicles. The $10 road and bridge fee and the $1.50 child safety fee. We implemented the $1.50 child safety fee last year, I believe, and that's where we helped purchase cones and those crosswalk stopping signs that we gave to the school to use, their crosswalks and stuff and everything. Each year, both of these fees have to be approved again by Commissioners Court. We can add one, add none, drop both, add both, whatever you want to do. But call a little bit of flack about the $1.50, but that's to be used for crosswalk safety equipment, crosswalkers, the guards, child safety stuff, and so forth like that. There was a little bit of disgruntlement from some folks at the tax office, and according to Ms. Padron, but all in all, the intent of that $1.50 is child safety stuff. And like we say, last year we bought, I don't know, several cones, the orange cones for the streets and those signs for the crosswalks and stuff. So, you want to approve them both, take one away, keep them both, whatever, take them both away. Motion to approve both of them. Yeah. Motion to approve both of them. All right, by Commissioner Farragut, second by Commissioner Montalvo. Any further discussion on those two items? And I'll visit with the school again and see what, because there's a little list of what that $1.50 can be used for and so forth. So we'll visit with the school and see what they need, crossing vest or little stop signs or whatever. If they actually have a crossing guard that's working in the mornings and in the afternoons, it can help help offset that expense for the school. I believe one of the items we can use it for. All right. Motion is to approve both that $10 for road and bridge and the $1.50 for child safety. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried, Nancy. 5-0. All right. So we'll go to option 8 here. No change. Item F this morning, again, it's the burn bans back on here, discussing or disapprove or no action, whatever, on the countywide burn ban for 90 days. What's your thoughts on that? I'm green. You're green? I'm a little green. I think we're good to Next meeting. We can have it on Friday. Man. You don't wait to see how Friday goes. We can have it on, well, I have it on every meeting until I feel like we're really good. Have it. You want to table it and just move it to Friday's meeting? We'll talk about it at Friday's meeting right quick. All right, entertain a motion to table item F to August the 29th, you said, Becky?
Yes.
We'll have that on there. Motion made by Commissioner Montalvo, second by Commissioner Dotson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So we'll just table that one to the 29th. We'll discuss it again or talk about it right quick. All right, we have this action item here is discuss and approve proposal of $5,750 from Spatial. Is that how you said that? Spatial Agency for additional enhanced features for the cemetery records system. And Ms. Conley's here this morning to go over some of that with us this morning. If y'all want a chance to move, you're welcome to move right quick before we get started. If you're on this side and you want to move over or come around to see the presentation. Morning.
Good morning, Allison.
I think she hears. I think she's thinking more. What's your TV volume? Hey, oh, you're in both ways.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Allison?
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
We can't hear you. You have this in your packet already, but I wanted to copy it out. So we've been working 3 years with Allison Hoffman. She's the software developer for the Kinney County Cemetery. I'm Lisa Conley, the chairman for the cemetery committee. And thank you for trying to get her online.
There you are.
I think we can hear her. Can you hear us?
There you are.
Awesome, great. I just passed out the GIS-based cemetery record system proposal that we have. So I just wanted to kind of give you an overview that all the work that you've done today, and that is that with the wood industries, with the ground penetrating radar, we have successfully digitally preserved the burials at Kinney County Cemetery for all time. So they are there. There are every headstone has a picture, and every unmarked grave is also GPS coordinated. And so we know where they are. We're standing at about a little over 100 on unmarked graves out there. And so they've come out 2 years in a row. And so this is another enhanced program. So as we've been talking through our meetings, there have been some things that I've wanted to see happen with the cemetery. And one of them was to populate, like the veterans. Can we just do a populated list from that? Can we have deed of plots so that we start to move from burials and funeral homes being in agreement when it's happening, so that the courthouse and our cemetery committee, that we're all aware that there's a burial happening out there, and a deed of plot has been issued for that. So she's implemented a lot of things. So with that, I give you my dear friend also as well. So we've been working together for a couple of years, Allison Hockey. Thank you so much, and I'll let you go over the program with them. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lisa, for that warm introduction. I sure appreciate being here. Thanks for having me. So yeah, like Lisa said, we've been working together for quite a while now, and we've got you guys a new. Well, there's two different applications built. One is for public facing, and the other is for internal management. So Lisa will be able to manage burial records within the internal management system, and the public will be able to go on to a website wherever you guys decide to embed this application. The public will be able to go in and search you guys' burial records for Kinney County to find their loved ones and be able to easily navigate to those spaces. So I guess I could go over how the mapping systems work if you guys are interested. And
If you could just give them a quick overview so they can kind of see, it's been a while since we've presented that, if they have a second to look at that.
okay, great. Yeah, I will share my screen. Okay. So what we are looking at in this tab is the public facing cemetery mapping application. And you'll see that there are several different tabs here. One is for providing a general history of a cemetery, and we georeferenced one of your historical maps for the cemetery. And I kind of like historical maps, and I think that they're relevant to a cemetery's history, obviously, and it shows how things have sort of changed over time. And so we decided to include that historic cemetery map. And within this application, there's a place for people to get some information, find out who to call, that sort of thing, some sort of just kind of standard information you might find about a cemetery. And then on the Find a Loved One tab, this is where people will be able to search for burial records and find anybody that they might be looking for. Say, oh, Lisa, what was your mama's last name again?
Schaefer?
Schaefer, C-H, right? S-C-H.
S-C-H-A-F-E-R.
I'm sorry?
S-C-H-A-F-E-R.
Was it Miss Beverly, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's Miss Beverly. The application will zoom right to it. You can do fun things like change the base map so you can get an idea, what's on the ground. We'll go with an imagery layer here, maybe. And so what you guys have now is an organized structure where you can see what spots are available, whereas before you wouldn't have known what spaces you might have had. You can see what spaces are occupied, and we can kind of maybe turn some stuff on and off so we can see that better. Let's turn these off maybe, and then look at the legend, and you can see that all of the occupied spaces are kind of gray. That the available spaces are green. I think you guys maybe recovered upwards of 600, maybe more new burial spaces that are available for people to, either reserve or however you guys want to manage that. I know that you guys are maybe looking towards a suggested donation. And so Lisa and I kind of work together on building this donations platform, which is integrated. Saying that somebody is, like I said, this is the public facing application, and if somebody was interested in securing a space, they could go into this right here and say, well, I'm interested in one of these available spaces. It'll show you, that green is pretty highlighted there, you can kind of see. And if you click on these little black dots here, those are the headstones, so you know who's buried where. But say the person is interested in this spot here, and they can get a little pop-up showing what they gotta do to secure that space. And it says, while Brackett Community Cemetery. Oh, Lisa, there's another one. We gotta change that. Grant County Cemetery does not charge for burial plots. Donations are low. And then there's a hyperlinked donate button where people can go right to that donations platform and make your donation, and then, give Lisa a call and say they want to reserve a burial spot. And that would happen inside of a different application. So like I said, again, I don't want to be the dead horse, but this is the public facing one. This is the internal facing one, and this would be where Lisa is managing burial records. So there's burial records and then there's ownership records. And then there's also this fun one where people can leave a loving memorial of their loved one, and that happens in the public facing one. But I'll go through this real fast. If a new burial is taking place, you can say, this burial spot is now reserved. Once the application keeps up with me here. And you go into this details tab and you click this little icon and you say, well, it's no longer available, it's reserved for somebody. And you click that and you put in, whatever information you like to include. And this records tab is where you would add that burial record, and then the color would change accordingly to, I think, probably gray, as everything else is for the occupied spots. But importantly, and this is kind of neat right here, on this tab, on the reserve available plots tab, this would be where you guys could generate your purchase agreements and your visa plot. And it's all kind of happening in one system, and all of the data is talking to each other. Now, keeping in mind, I don't have this all built out yet, but this would be where it happens. And so the workflow goes kind of like this. You select an available spot. You say, yeah, we'd like to reserve that spot in this person's name. You just click reserved, and then you go to an owner, and then this down here will populate automatically with all of that information, and you guys would have a print button, and it would say, this is the purchase agreement between the interested party and the cemetery manager for such and such an amount, and maybe you guys would have some language in there for what your rules and regulations of the cemetery are, whatever kind of templates you guys might already have. We could generate those purchase agreements from those existing templates. And again, if somebody was maybe in Lisa's office and they were saying, yeah, I'd like to purchase that spot, and here's my donation, and everybody can do that within one platform to go to several different websites.
Allison,
Um,
is there an
Yes,
element
ma'am.
in there where if they've selected a spot, that it is not automatically theirs until they have an approval? So that, say if someone picks something, but it's really close to another family, that like, oh no, that family, that may not be a good spot for them, and we go look at it, and then, then once you see it, you realize, so is there something there that if someone selects a section, but it may not be tenable for them to be there?
Sure, absolutely. That's kind of the neat thing about digital systems. You can change the information whenever you'd like. If you made that reservation, you can always easily go back and change it. If they decide, hey, we don't really necessarily want to be in that spot, it's not close enough to our ancestors or our family, and I think that probably happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, you can change that pretty quickly. It would just be a matter of going into, let's say, a hypothetical workflow. Let's say Joe Garcia is in the office and he's interested in purchasing this spot here, 8421. you click that and you've made your reservation, you've generated your purchase agreement, he's giving you the money, you give him the receipt, and then you depart. And then at that point, I suppose your workflow might be, okay, well, let's go over to that spot and make sure it's where you want to be. And then he decides, maybe I want the spot next to it. You just go back into your office, or you can do that within your field manager app too. So I know that you're kind of interested in one of those too. If you wanted to do all the stuff on site while you're out there in the cemetery grounds, you could do that too. But basically, it's just changing that reservation. You would then go back into here and say, this is no longer reserved, it is available again. And you just remark it as available. But you want to also go into the managed burial records tab and change that ownership information. Let's say, oh gosh, let's find one that is,
Can you talk briefly about, whenever you get through with this, but just briefly about what the enhanced, exactly like outline each thing that we have added on that has it brought us up to this $5,000 mark that we need to pay you for that.
oh, if you guys want the reserve available plots and that generate the generate templates functionality, and then that the other veterans layer, I think all of those things in total was the sum of that $5,000 for the veterans burial plots and the form generation, and then that field application. If I'm correct, and I'll have to pull up that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I gotta pull that out. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. Let me see here.
They have it in their packet on page 3.
Okay.
The cost estimate number 6.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, the report generation tools. So what I've kind of done is just built out a wireframe. The functionality hasn't been built yet, obviously, because we haven't, agreed to it yet. But I wanted to show you kind of what it would look like once it's built. It would all happen within, one application instead of several and shuffling papers, and it would all be done in one spot. And I suppose the veterans burial records, that would be maybe a new tab, or it could be in your find a loved one tab. It really kind of depends on how you want it to look. The public facing one right here, maybe it's just a layer within the find a loved one, and we just have another layer that says specifically to show me all the veterans, and we can have them color coded by which war they served in, or which branch of the military, perhaps. Yeah, there's all kinds of fun things you can do with it, depending on what you want it to look like. That's really sort of the kicker. I try to be as flexible as possible for what my clients want.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if I answered the questions you want to answer, Lisa.
No, you are that. This is just the added what we're doing with this program to cater it to Kinney County specifically, and to help us with. And I know the commissioners have not approved anything as far as charging, so that's why that little reference was on there about it's free right now. We would like to move to that, but that is totally in your ballpark. The Catholic Cemetery charges $200, and so and it would just be at your purview to decide if you want to allow that, but also to allow for some type of plot planning to occur as well. And because that, that kind of ensures the integrity out there that everything is following through and being recorded as we do this. And then you'll notice in your packet also, I did put from the Texas your Discovery Management Group. This is the receiver. It's a GNSS receiver. There's two quotes, or two different models. Allison uses the Arrow 100, and then there was the Scatty 100, and they are GPS coordinate receivers. Allison, correct me if I'm not saying the terminology correct, but it is more precise than just a GPS coordinate, that which can be off like 5 to 10 feet. This one would actually, if we go out and there's a new burial, we take a picture with this, and it's a Bluetooth device that connects to your phone or an iPad, and you run that field application on site, and you take that picture of that headstone, and it is exact, precise location.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So like in contrast to, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Find a Grave website, am I correct? A lot of times people will go out into cemeteries and they'll take a picture of a headstone, and they'll enable the location on their cell phone or their tablet, and they'll be thinking that they're capturing that headstone right where it's at, in terms of geographic correctness, but that's really not the case. It can be anywhere from 5 to 25 feet off in some cases, and so having that GPS satellite receiver really is sort of paramount to collecting accurate data while you're in the field. And I think additionally too, Lisa, it might be important to note that while you are in the field and you've got your cemetery mapping application right in front of you with your tablet or your cell phone or what have you, you could monitor headstone conditions too, and even create work orders and say, well, this headstone is broken, maybe we need to pay some attention to this and get somebody in here to fix that. You can do that right from within that field application as well. You can mark the condition of the headstone.
It's unlimited. The possibilities and the direction that you want to go is unlimited, and that's wonderful option set before us to continue to preserve and beautify our cemetery that's there. So that's a huge goal of ours to do for our county. Awesome. Well, thank you, Alan.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Allison? Before we lose her, because she's like my wealth of information. I was like, I'm just learning this program, and she's the whiz at it, so, because she built it, so.
I really enjoy what I do too. It's very meaningful work for me. So yeah, I love it.
We do
I'm
have.
happy to answer any questions you might have now or in the future too. So
Thank you. We do have a cultural fabric project that we'd like to look at in the next couple of years as well. So that is just preserving the history, living history that knows a little bit about those that have passed, and integrating that in there as well. But that's for another year.
yes, ma'am. That is something I'm terribly excited about, and I would love to come back and tell you guys all about that too.
Thank you.
Yeah, integrating things like different kinds of media, video, oral history, so people might be able to contribute to a person's, history. All of that stuff could be included. So.
And it becomes preserved forever. So that's what's so beautiful about this. Also, when we go to integrate this, we would like to put it on the county homepage. And that way people can access it there. And she has even talked about making a spot available for all the other cemeteries. So like the Catholic Cemetery, the Masonic, the Veterans, the Valentine Cemetery, the Seminole Cemetery, to have some tabs there. Even though they don't have the same mapping system that we have, there would be some things that would be available for them as well. So a wonderful place for people to go. How do I bury a loved one if I'm a veteran? How do I bury a loved one if I'm a Catholic? So that information can also reside on your county homepage.
That's right. Yeah. And the application could look however, whatever makes sense. For example, say that Kinney County has several different cemeteries, and in the county you could have that as a list. It would be this list down here, or it could be a separate standing application in and of itself. So there's options, lots of different options.
Awesome.
So
Thank you, Al.
yeah,
so much.
Hey, yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me know if I can answer any questions, okay?
Okay, thank you, hon. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
So the request this morning is to approve these enhanced features to cemetery record system.
Yes, sir. And on your very back page, there's the two price quotes from, it's Texian Geospatial out of San Marcos. That's for field equipment, doesn't have to happen right now unless we pull it back up for the for another agenda item. And then the last page is where we are sitting with our budget right now. Just más o menos 12,588. And that would be available with a few things that need to come out for the rest of this fiscal year. And then we can discuss the Scatty 100, the actual field equipment. We can discuss that at another commissioners court meeting.
Okay.
And this is for Allison to continue to do this work and to finalize it. We are very near, and I do think within the next month or so, we'll be ready to bring it to the commissioners to say, we're ready to embed this into the county website.
Any questions or comments? I'm not sure that we should, personally, yes, we should do the veterans burial layer integration. That cost of $500, but that, and then, that's leaving out the Valentine Cemetery and the Seminole Cemetery. And again, those are not our responsibilities per se as a county, so, we need to caution here to say that.
The veteran layer burial is something we could pull up and populate because we're planning on doing wreaths across America. And so it would be wonderful to be able to work with them as well and have that number that we need, say we need this many wreaths in December for those graves out there. And we're specifically just looking at, this is the Kinney County Cemetery. And then there are veterans that are buried there as well. And we do not have any information on the veterans cemetery. So it's the veterans that are currently at the county cemetery. But we'll count, when we do the wreaths across America, we will definitely count the veterans of the veterans.
So the veteran burial layer is just those veterans in.
In the Kinney County Cemetery.
Okay, all right. Clarify that for, not the ones in the Masonic. Not the ones in the Masonic Cemetery. All right. For my clarification there.
There's a veterans burial thing there in the Masonic Cemetery.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Today's action item or request to approve the proposal of $5,750 for enhanced features to the cemetery record system. I'll entertain a motion to approve or disapprove item G.
Motion approved.
Moved by Commissioner Barrett, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion on item G this morning? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. All right, thank you, Ms. Conley. And then we'll address those, the equipment requests at a later meeting. Determine which one of those you want to go with and ask for. All right. Item H this morning is personnel policy prohibiting employees from working more than 16 hours within a 24-hour period. This is be a policy change in the employee handbook. Currently, we have to have an exception to the rule, and then right now the county employees are prohibited from working more than 16 hours in a 24-hour period without express permission from the Commissioner's Court. At this time, express permission is only granted to county EMS employees. That is that the change? What's the change?
Yes. It's in addition to the.
The other one. All right, but this employees. Kinney County Commissioner Court has adopted to pay law enforcement personnel overtime on a 40-hour weekly basis as long as there are other sources of funds available. Overtime should be calculated on actual hours worked in excess of 40 hours during the week, Sunday through Saturday. Except in emergency situations, an employee shall be required to have authorization from the supervisor before working overtime. The next line is employees are prohibited from working more than 16 hours in the 24-hour period. The exception to the policy is EMS employees. What I think we need to also address here in this is that it's, if we are in if a state of emergency is declared or disaster, something like that, where it's either road and bridge crews, it's sheriff's office, it's building maintenance staff, it's whoever is, we're all hands on deck trying to get out of the emergency, activate and respond to the emergency situation that we're in. So I think we need to add some wording there that addresses that. That is, this has been an issue lately, of exceeding those hours? That's a good question. Yeah, well, the EMS staff is always.
Yeah.
They went to 48.
Excluding them, they've already got it.
The new. New sentence is simply the county employees are prohibited from working more than 16 hours in a 24-hour period without express permission from the Commissioner's Court. And I think and that's the new sentence that would be in there that would include where if we did have a state of emergency or disaster or something, we'd have an emergency meeting and then we could authorize the offices or the staff that could be eligible for overtime during that process and whatnot. And then again, the sentence just, the final sentence is, at this time, express permission is only granted to EMS employees without having to have, some kind of item, approved item from Commissioner's Court. Let's figure out. Yeah, this, right. This is what. Yeah. I think it should, here's the correction I would say. It should probably read, county employees are prohibited from working more than 16 hours in a 24-hour period without express permission from commissioner's court or elected official. And if there's overtime to be worked at the clerk's office, at the sheriff's office,
You wouldn't just say supervisor there though?
well, the supervisor though would be an
Or
elected
department
official.
head?
Well, the department head would still have an elected official.
Yeah.
So that was the discussion that took place on Thursday and Friday last week. The supervisors making the call in the sheriff's office on that shift work, except emergency situation, employees should be required to have authorization from their supervisor before working overtime. Brand, did you work on this some too?
Yes.
First paragraph is just dealing with 40 hours in a week. The second paragraph is dealing with the 16 hours in a 24-hour period without express permission from the commissioner's court. Or we could say, or elected official. At this time, express permission is only granted to county EMS employees.
That's the bullet we're gonna add, or is that?
Yeah,
not
that's
in
the
there?
bullet we're at.
Okay,
The first bullet's there. The 40-hour deal is,
that's in there.
has to be approved in, by your supervisor. And it's emergency situations, so forth. County employees are prohibited from working more than 16 hours in a 24-hour period without express permission from the commissioner's court. Should it read permission or approval from commissioner's court?
Either way, I mean,
County employees are prohibited from working more than 16 hours in a 24-hour period without the express permission or approval from the commissioner's court and elected official and or.
but then you run to the case, of what if the elected official says yes, and they say no?
That's what I was thinking. So leave it with us, and then
Okay.
they can petition us.
We can call an emergency meeting. It's not great. And this is the scenario where it would be a disaster situation or emergency situation to begin with. So we'll leave it to read in county employees, the new paragraph, then Becky to read county employees are prohibited from working more than 16 hours in a 24-hour period without the express permission from the commissioner's court. They could work more than 16 hours, they may not be compensated. Should be a compensation deal or working.
They work.
The assumption is compensation.
What's the issue? We all wanted to, for emergency purposes, make an exception. You
Yes.
could put, unless expressly authorized by the commissioner's court or the county judge during the declared emergency. since you're the emergency director or, management coordinator, you can make the call and place the commissioner's court during the declared emergency without the need to have a special meeting.
All right, express permission from Commissioner's Court or county judge in the declared emergency. At this time, the express permission is only granted to county EMS employees. All right, everybody good with that one? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 24-hour, the 16-hour within a 24-hour period as presented and changes. With the changes, county employees are prohibited from working more than 16 hours in a 24-hour period without the express permission from the Commissioner's Court or county judge in a declared emergency. At this time, express permission is only granted to county EMS employees. I entertain a motion to adopt that paragraph as amended. So moved by Commissioner Barrett, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. There it is, as amended. Item I this morning is discussion, approve or disapprove order of election, November general election for the county officers. General election order. Ricky talked about that a little bit this morning. It would be the election site would be the Kinney County Community Center. The location would be October 20th through October 24th, 8 to 5. October 25th, that Saturday, 8 to 8. October 26th, be 12 to 6 p.m. that Sunday. And then that following Monday through Friday, the 27th through the 29th, Thursday, would be 8 a.m. to 5. And the 30th and 31st would be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Holy cow. That's lots of hours.
So you didn't have a chance to get there.
Woo. All right, I entertain a motion to approve them. So moved by Commissioner Dotson. Second by Commissioner Montalvo. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. All right, approve and disapprove Kinney County cybersecurity plan and policies. We had the first reading on that the other day. Ms. Hobbs and Ms. Gutierrez are here to talk a little bit more about it and the emphasis of it, of us going forward and being cybersecurity compliant. And the state's pushing this pretty hard and heavy too as well.
Good morning.
Morning.
So this is the plan that Mrs. Hernandez developed for Kinney County to include policies and procedures, and I know she presented it. So if y'all have any questions, we're ready to approve the plan, the policies, and the procedures.
It was presented last meeting, first reading and so forth. So
When we were at the fire station,
any questions or comments of the plan? All right, entertain a motion to approve the plan as presented. So moved by me. Second. Second. Commissioner Dotson. All right, So we'll approve the plan as it was presented the other day, but first reading. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried, man. Okay. No, Commissioner Barrett. Becky, you make those notes. All right. With that being said, then item K is to adopt the training schedule that has been prepared for the Kinney County Cybersecurity Training Schedule. It's in your handout this morning, and we're going to do it in small groups. And what it'll do, it'll go through the policies and procedures, not word for word, but it'll go through and hit the high points where everyone has this training. And it's countywide. Anybody that touches a county computer to do county stuff has to have the training. We'll have ours on Monday, that's September the 8th, right?
Correct.
All right. But this is the training program we're going to adopt. It keeps it in small rooms, kind of in the sheriff's office, the district courtroom and the sheriff's office and the fire station. But we're going to try to catch the shifts. We're doing some during the day, some in the evenings, and try to catch those shift workers and stuff between EMS, the sheriff's office, and so forth like that. All right. Nutrition center, library, it's everybody. Okay. So there's the training schedule that we're proposing and that we worked on. Mr. Hobbs and Mr. Gutierrez worked on and presented it to me. Now, if you miss one and you're a EMS guy, but you're here the day that you're working and you get to attend another day, that's fine. You don't have to, but we're just trying to throw some dates and times out there so folks, because they'll close their office. This is for an hour's training. So those offices will be closed that hour and those folks can come have a sign-in sheet and get their cybersecurity training. And this has to be done by September the 15th.
And they actually don't have to close the office because there's an opportunity to
There he is.
send.
Attend more than once.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is. We kind of, but if they need to, they can, that's that.
If that's the only way it
Right.
works out, then yes.
Officials can do that.
There's plenty of opportunities on that schedule for them to receive the training and know what their roles and responsibilities will be with the cybersecurity plan, policies, and procedures.
And of course, the elected officials and department heads would have a little more responsibility in what happens if there were to be a cyber attack. Right.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve the training schedule. So moved by Commissioner Ferret, second by Commissioner Ward. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. We'll get this out today.
So how will we notify all the departments? You're going to send
I'll
out.
send out that schedule. They meet with your team and your staff, and we'll send it out to EMS director, EMC, firefighters, and then each elected official, and then the nutrition center, and so forth. Right, we're going to include all those people.
Thank you.
And we'll carbon copy y'all. So that y'all know. All right, next up is item L this morning, discuss and disapprove Region 15 Lower Rio Grande Regional Flood Planning Group request the submittal of potential flood management strategies, flood management elevations, and flood mitigation projects for inclusion in the 2028 Regional Flood Plan. Possible projects for flood management evaluations will include Lost Morris Creek crossings and bridges within the city of Bracketville, as well as property acquisition along Lost Morris Creek in the city of Bracketville. Proposals must be submitted by September 19th, 2025, and will require engineers' information to include its estimated cost, description of work, mitigation, downstream impacts, shape file, including the project and the watershed boundary. Okay.
Got a little wordy on that one. So we went to the City of Bracketville's council meeting and visited with them on this to make sure that they are in support of having this project promoted through Region 15. Our goal is to have a flood management evaluation done on that project so that it could be included in the Region 15 flood plan. From there, we would hope that it would then get approved to be in the state flood plan. Once it's in the state flood plan, we can apply for funding for it. The evaluation, the flood management evaluation, would hopefully be paid for by either Region 15 or the Texas Water Development Board. Today, in the next item, Mr. Dirksen has sent a request, or not a request, but a proposal for the work that he would need to do to get the FME, the flood management evaluation request to Region 15 in the forms that they needed. And so our goal today is to get the approval of the project as what we submit for evaluation, and then also to approve Mr. Dirksen's proposal for getting all that information together to send into Region 15. So Mr. Ward and Mr. Dodson went with us as well, or were at the meeting with the city and visited, and the city was I would say very responsive and supportive, and they did vote to support the project. And in the future, when the actual construction takes place, they voted to support the project as well.
Their portion of the cost. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Like, the property acquisitions and so forth along Lost Morse Creek in the city of Brackettville, it's the city's responsibility, not necessarily ours, but there could be some funding through these grants. If this is recognized and approved in the state plan, 2028.
Yes.
2028, then there could be some possible funding for them to get these vacant lots that are concerned or in the drainage area, flood area, and so forth.
Right. Well, and at that point, we will have, hopefully, from the evaluation, we will have something that'll show us what a 100-year flood will look like, or what a 500-year flood would look like, and exactly what areas and the depth of the flooding, so that you would actually then kind of know where the worst of it's going to happen. And if acquisition is something that needs to take place, then that would be a definite reason to add the acquisition as part of the project itself, the mitigation
And
project.
addressing the utilities and all of that. would be-
Right.
And that.
That's going to be part of it, because if you're going to do something with the crossings, then you have to do something with the utilities.
Okay.
So.
Like, the maintenance of Lost Morris Creek though is really not an active item in the floodplain project per se. So
Not
as
at
far
all.
as looking at that, like, is the county like, we say like, this is me talking here and just vision, like, would we be willing to like help the city like 1 week out of the year to go through there and help clean up some of the Lost Morris Creek? Just in the city's crews as well, as a tag team effort to help get some of the trees out, do some of the mowing, get some of the debris out of it to help clean it up, just to help with the tension of the water right now. Because if you walk it right now, there are some pretty bad spots that's just there's fallen trees or whatever and debris or whatever. Trash, and I'm not saying trash is in my household trash, just some trash stuff. some tires, and that would be where like maybe the water district would do their tire cleanup. They'll, again, we could just, get those tires turned into that. But is that something that y'all, I mean, obviously just something to think about, like down the road, if the cities will, hey, we designate a week out of the year, a joint effort to help and it, we might not get the whole thing done in a week, but we could start like at least just picking up, and maybe doing a little bit of debris removal, trees and stuff and brush and mowing of the spots where we can and stuff.
And maybe fill in some of those. I know the biggest complaint from citizens has been the puddles and the mosquitoes that come from them, and if we can, maybe do something along with what you're talking about to kind of either pour some chlorine in there and kill the mosquito larva or something to try to alleviate that issue because that is a problem.
But I think that would, if we join with it as a joint effort, their whole crew, our road and bridge crew, and we get together and just have a week out of the year where we do a little bit of work.
I do think, and I think I've said this already, I do think that collaboration with the entities, if we can get not only the city and county, but the water district and anybody else that we can pull into it, that collaboration, when we get to the point of an application for funding, is going to be big to help show we are trying to make a difference within our community. We are trying to make this where it is a creek that runs through without any issues, that is a good thing for the county, the city, all the entities to come together to try to make that happen. It's very favorable in applications to have that coordination.
Okay. So action item from L today, what are you asking of the court?
To approve the project from Highway 90 to the dams.
Okay. So moved by Commissioner Dawson, second by Commissioner Fair. All right. Any further discussion on item L? All right. All those in favor of item L as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. All right. So that's been approved, but with that being approved, then item N needs to be approved to get the specific items that Region 15 is wanting for their proposal to the state.
The data that only the engineer can provide.
Yes.
All right. So that is that.
And it's not a proposal to the state. It's a proposal to Region 15.
To get theirs to the state. That's what I said. There's region,
right.
Ours to Region 15, and if we become part of their plan, then they're going to send it to the state. All right. And that estimated cost of the items there is $2,200 from Dirksen Engineering. He's worked quite a bit on the project from the get-go as we started discussing and talking about this a few years ago. So.
And he is going to be working with Mr. Barker.
Yes, the hydrologist. He will work with Mr. Barker on this.
Yeah, it says hydrology meeting or whatever.
So, yeah, there's those 4 bullet points of what he needs to be able to do to get the FME to Region 15.
And this funding here, this 2,200, it's coming out of the county funds, or it's going to be we're eligible to get it somewhere else?
It's county funds.
Okay. And then page 2 is the standards and terms and conditions of the agreement. Mr. Dirksen. We have these funds probably remaining in grant matching for the year. So we should, if the motion is to approve this, we should have the funding and grant matching. So any other discussion on item M? Motion made to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Dotson. Any further discussion?
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Great, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you, ladies.
Will you sign this and I'll scan it and send it to Mr. Dirksen? The following one. Pardon me? Mhm. And you'll just send me one? Okay, thank you.
All right, in and those executive sessions, item 5 is approve and disapprove Kinney County Commissioners' previous minutes. We have two sets of minutes to look at this morning. First one is from August the 11th. Sheriff, Becky, have you got any of those MOUs back from the sheriff's office? Good. Terry?
So moving approval of minutes in August 11th.
All right, I have a motion to approve August 11th minutes as presented. Second by Commissioner Dotson. Motion made by Commissioner Tavo, second by Commissioner Dotson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried again. All right, the next second set of minutes is from August 18th. It's a special call meeting at which we addressed inmate housing, those MOUs and stuff.
Motion to approve the minutes of August 18th.
Have a motion to approve minutes from August 18th by Commissioner Dotson, second by Commissioner Barrett. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. All right, item 6 this morning is departmental budget adjustments and reviews to amend the 2025-26 budget as needed. There are none. Item 7 is approved bills and disbursements after the Kinney County Detention Center. There is one. We have it there this morning for you. Move to approve by Commissioner Ward, second by Commissioner Dotson. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign, motion carried. The next one is the number item 8. Examine and ratify, approve all claims, bills, including payroll for Kinney County budget 25-26. Have those in front of you to review this morning.
That payment to Bristol, they bring us current with them,
Make sure where you at.
Haley and Olson.
Yes. The 32,302
37.
will be that's the solar stuff that we worked on in the Kairos and so forth for the solar farm and the batteries. And the 5,000 is the road use agreement, and that'll be refunded back to the county from Kairos. But yes, it's on that project, yes. All right, I entertain a motion to approve the item 8, so it's presented. So moved by Commissioner Ferret, second by Commissioner Tavo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right. That'll take care of. All right, item 9, other items pertaining to county business. Don't really have anything. Splash pad. Splash pad's working. I got an email from that guy over the weekend about parts, I believe. wheel that was broke. I gotta see what's that about. The splash pad seems to be working. There was a part, those, the sensor in the reservoir tank was showing it to be low. It wasn't refilling. So he's working on that. He's worked on that stuff. And probably gonna end up trying to put a new sensor inside that tank in the ground with the recapture water. Yeah. You know, do what we do. We need it. Well, that's on the list starting September. Let's go out for requests. Because I think we have enough. Commissioner Ward, do we have enough drawings and items for the bathrooms at the concession stands to go out and get proposals? Yes. Okay, so we'll start.
Yeah, the architect.
That'll be on our September meeting to advertise for that. To go out for those requests, but the architect had to do some drawings for the restrooms and stuff to do that additional bathroom stuff at the swimming pool, splash pad.
You want to get bids on that?
Yes, sir. Yeah. We'll put that on the agenda to go out for bids on, we'll put that on September 8th agenda, Becky, to go out for bids for the bathroom work at the county pool. Then I had another train of thought, talking to me about that. I don't know what it is. Can't remember now. What is it? Oh, agenda posting. We're going to probably stick with the new rules coming from this legislative session was they have to be posted 3 business days in advance. So we're going to post on Wednesday morning, correct? Tuesday morning. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, so your cutoff's going to be. Why wouldn't you do Wednesday if you hadn't posted Wednesday morning? They were up all day Wednesday, up all day Thursday, up all day Friday.
Get that, you know, the Jim Addison stated on that response that they to be posted 72 hours. We have to post it on Tuesday.
No, 3 businesses. No more 72 hours. It's 3 business. It's 3 business days. If it was up
in by 9 a.m.
well, that's when we have to post it. We're talking about the cutoff to get it to us, to get it items to us, to get posted to the agenda. If we did it Tuesday morning, posted by, if we posted it Tuesday by lunch, and that would be we'd have all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday. You see what I'm saying, Becky? So you want to do it like that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll post the meetings Tuesday by noon. We want the items to us to be considered for posting by noon on Monday. Well, do you want to?
Half a day to do it, yeah. That's really important. But if we do it Friday, if we just cut up for items Friday, I don't know if it would interfere with anything on the weekend, coming up on the weekend. Making an exception for it on Monday.
What if you posted it Tuesday by 4 o'clock? If you posted it by the end of the day on Tuesday,
Okay.
that would be plenty of time. So it said we'd post it by 2. Then is noon on Monday time to
Yes.
have okay. So we'll have our posting of the meeting on by Tuesday at 5. But we want items to us by noon on Monday. Holy cow. Okay. So items have to be turned in for the agenda basically a week in advance. A full week. Okay. So we'll go with we'll post it Tuesday by 5 or end of the day, Tuesday by 5. Items in. You're saying Monday at noon?
Yes.
By noon. Okay. We'll get that email out to everybody to kind of start that process and stuff. All right, any other items? Anything going on around the county? I don't have anything else. We'll take a little short break. We'll go into executive session right quick for a little bit. 1 o'clock meeting today, so but we got some items to talk with Brent in executive session, so we'll call it 11:02. Recess at 11:02. Take a little quick break. No action items coming out of the executive session from the agenda. So we'll go into executive session and our consultation with the attorneys. Personnel matters, closed meetings pursuant to 55107-4. Government code, we'll discuss personnel matters or issues. And executive session, or consult with
Run.